Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How has everyone's week been? I hope you've all had a lovely week or been keeping busy and learning at least. I have actually been starting on my crafts for Christmas, so I like making gifts for my friends and family, and so I've decided to get started on that because I believe it's less than 100 days now until Christmas, which is like super close. So I've decided to get started on those. I actually bought a wood burning tool which I've never used before, so that's actually been quite interesting, playing around with the different parts of that and the different shapes that it makes, and yeah, it's been a fun little experiment. Let me know if you guys want to see what it is that I'm creating. I'll be more than happy to show you. But yeah, that's been my week so far. Now, for those of you who are new here, my name is Bethany Vujan, and I do an episode every Tuesday called Toxic Tuesday, where I talk about a toxic plant that you may have in your backyard. And for today's episode, we are looking at Cerbera Odollam. Now, I do just want to put a trigger warning, a care warning here, because this particular plant, there is quite a few mentions in regards to self-passing, what it's normally called. YouTube doesn't like, so I can't actually say it, but I will be referencing it as self-passing. If that is something that is upsetting to you or is not something that you're able to hear at this point in time, I completely understand. And if you do wish to skip this video, I would also understand that as well. But yeah, I do want to put in that trigger warning just here, just to let you know that there will be discussions surrounding that on this video. Cerbera Odollam goes by the more common name of the Pong Pong tree, but it also goes by the name the murder tree, Mintola, Orthalum, and self-passing tree. Cerbera Odollam is a member of the Apocynaceae family and actually bears a very close resemblance to a relative, the oleander, which I will be doing a video about in the future. The branchlets are whorled around the base of the trunk, and its leaves are terminally crowded with tapering bases, acuminate apices, and entire margins. Now, if that sounded like a bunch of gibberish, don't worry, I got you. Terminally crowded means that essentially there is a whole bunch of leaves that are crowded in one particular area on the branch or stem, as you can see here. Now, tapered base means it's in reference to the base of the leaf and the shape that it takes, as you can see here. Acuminate apices is in reference to the tips of the leaves and how they make a fine point. And entire margins means that the edges of the leaves are not serrated or toothed, they're actually quite smooth. Again, seen here. Now, the Pong Pong tree is classified as a medium-sized tree. It can grow up to 12 meters and has a very large, round, bushy crown. The leaves are generally a glossy green and stay that way until they start to die, which is when they then turn orange and fall off the tree. It does have prominent white flowers that consist of 5 petals and a yellow throat. The Pong Pong tree also bears fruit, which, when still green, actually resembles a mango. The fibrous shell of the fruit contains a kernel, which is about 2 by 1.5 centimeters in diameter. Now, this kernel actually changes color when it's exposed to air. So it starts out white and then it goes to a violet through to a light gray and then ultimately into a dark brown or a black. The Pong Pong tree is native to India and parts of southern Asia. It prefers to grow near coastal salt swamps and marshy areas. So if you are wanting to grow this in your garden, it prefers full sun and moderate water, as its habitat is terrestrial, like a coastal forest, and mangrove, kind of like mangrove forests, sandy beaches, that kind of environment. The seeds of the Pong Pong fruit contain cerberin, which is a type of cardiac glycoside. Now, they actually block the calcium ore channels in the heart, which causes disruption of the heartbeat, which, as we all know, is fatal or can be fatal. The most common toxicity symptom that is received in humans is vomiting. However, you do have the possibility of receiving these other symptoms as well. Now, these include nausea, burning sensation of the mouth, headache, irregular respiration, hyperkalemia, which is high potassium or too much potassium in the bloodstream, thrombocytopenia, which is low blood platelet count, coma, and as with most of these plants, death. Cerberin can also cause ECG abnormalities, which can in turn cause you to experience myocardial infarction, which is essentially a heart attack or a dangerous arrhythmia. Now, temporary cardiac pacing has been used to manage symptoms along with other supportive measures. The toxin Cerberin was actually named after Cerberus, the three-headed hound of Hades, who is believed to have a poisonous bite. Although how it managed to have that particular name, I'm not too sure, considering that it is native to India and parts of Southern Asia. So I couldn't find why it got classed with that when there are so many other mythological beings that it could have been named after. But if you know, let me know in the comments down below. Now, the Pong Pong tree, as I said before, is more commonly known as the self-passing tree or the murder tree, particularly in India because of its use in homicides and self-passings. It's difficult to detect Cerberin in autopsies as it requires high-performance liquid chromatography, which is a technique that's used to separate mixtures. So think like when you go and have like some blood taken and then they put it in that little centrifuge thing, and then it kind of separates everything. That. But then it's also coupled with mass spectrometry, which is where the identification of the different substances come into play based on their molecular weight, which is costly, so it's not really a viable option in some locations. Some toxologists won't actually test for Cerberin poisoning unless there's strong evidence to suggest that the patient may have consumed a kernel recently. And when you're able to mask the flavor with strong spices, getting that kind of evidence is very, very unlikely. I actually found a decade-long study. It was between 1989 to 1999, and it was based in the southwest Indian state of Kerala. And what this case had shown, or what this case had established, is that there were over 500 poisonings within that time frame that they knew of. There's also been several cases of poisonings happening around the world, so not just within India or Southern Asia. I actually found a case on a 32-year-old trans woman who had a history of depression and was experiencing gender dysphoria, who had decided and had expressed that she wanted to take her life. Now, she had actually purchased the Pong Pong tree, Cerbera Odollam, about a week prior to her admission to hospital, and she actually ate a single kernel, just the one. She did fortunately survive the attempt, and she was monitored closely by the toxologist due to what this single seed had actually done to her body. And she was ended up being transferred to a psychiatric unit to assist her in the gender dysphoria that she was experiencing. I also found an observational study of 50 patients that had presented to the hospital with Cerbera Odollam poisoning, and the study itself was actually on the common symptoms that were occurring across the patients. So if you're interested in reading any one of these cases, I will pop them in the description box down below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on them if you do go through and read them, because I found them somewhat interesting, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well. That is everything today, guys, on Cerbera Odollam, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts down below. Let me know what you think, and while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe. On a serious note though, guys, if you or if someone you know is struggling and they need help, please reach out. There are people out there that are able to help you. You are so much stronger than you realize, and I really would like it for you to get the help that you need. If you're in Australia, I'll put in some numbers here so you can give them a ring or some contact information so you can give someone a call if you need to. If you haven't already, please go and have a chat with your doctor. I know sometimes medication isn't for everyone, but it also may possibly help. But thank you for spending some of your day with me, guys. It's always appreciated. So I will see you all on the next episode of Toxic Tuesday. I hope you all have a lovely week. Stay safe and keep on learning. Bye, guys.